You've heard about Houston. You've heard about Detroit. You've even heard about Pittsburgh, PA. But have you heard about David Byrne's World of Gondolas? That's right. Musician David Byrne has stayed up all night to create the ultimate gondola experience. Whether you're a novice or expert gondolier, you'll find something for everybody at David Byrne's World of Gondolas. Drop by between 3:41 and 3:43 a.m. on Thursday for a chance to meet Drab Majesty. That's David Byrne's World of Gondolas, located off Misty Patch Road to Nowhere in Tinkertown. Big questions with the dead milkmen. Each week while working on the new album, the Dead Milkmen ask each other a question. Here we go.
Man, what a great show last week.
It was fantastic. All right, I've almost got the pop filters ready from last night's show in Wilmington. These are almost fixed, and they should be ready for tonight's show in Harrisburg, guys. But let's go easy on these, okay? These are made for my old t-shirts. They're not going to hold up to things like floppy hats and stuff like that. All right, and be careful. Don't drop them over the side of the gondola. All right, everybody. Oh, we're live. And again, I plugged in a prop that I shouldn't have. I just put that gently down. Okay, so so this is Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen, as you know, and this is part two. Last week, it's part two of a video in which we're looking at other bands' promo pics, like press kit pics, that sort of stuff. And it's because our friend Andy once saw a band and said he knew he was going to hate them the minute he saw them, and one thing led to another, and this is community service. Okay, so if you didn't see last week's video, go back and watch it, but you don't really need to see it to figure out what's going on here. Okay, so we are going to begin this evening. We're going to start with Dan's pick that he threw in for band promo pick. And Dan, tell us about what you sent in.
It's a picture, which I think is a promotional poster of a band, the Mummies. And they are a garage kind of basically like a dirty garage kind of band. And I think that they pass. I think they're awesome. And I'm pretty sure this was the poster that was hanging in Chris Peelout's house. And it was around the time that I heard them, and it makes sense on a number of levels. I mean, they look like Mummies. And it looks like it would be either surfy or garage kind of psychedelic stuff. It also looks like it's from the 60s, and it's not, which I thought was cool, which is a segue into, I don't think the photographer could or should do anything to this photo. They have many amazing photos. I actually had to go through a bunch to figure out which one was the best, but I thought this represented the band pretty well. And there's some great live footage of it. I've never seen them live, but other than footage recorded.
Well, unfortunately, this will air after they have just played in Philadelphia on Thursday, April 21st at the Underground Arts.
Mm. I feel like
you missed them.
In the groin.
They were just here.
Wait a second, I can go back in time and see them.
I feel like somebody kicked me in the groin with a floppy hat. Ooh, I got hit right in the gondola. Ooh. Hi-oh.
What are all the questions?
Yeah, the questions are, Dan. Also, if you weren't familiar with them.
I was familiar with, well,
yeah,
actually,
if you weren't, and you saw that poster.
I originally saw that picture, no.
Okay, and it's an accurate portrayal of how they sound, you think?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry I never sent you guys a link. I assumed you either heard them.
Yeah, I've heard them, yeah. And okay, I just want to say, I'll start off my part by saying I love the Mummies. I used to describe the Mummies as if you took the MC5 and you wrapped them in gauze. They are raw. I mean, they are surprisingly raw. And they came about, I guess, at a time when sort of monster things were cute. When you were beginning to get like famous monster magazines, and you get like the Munsters on TV and the Addams Family. I prefer the Addams Family. But the I guess they sort of came about because they're from the 60s.
The Mummies?
Yeah, the Mummies.
No, they're like late 80s, early 90s.
Really? I always thought they were from the 60s. I used to hear them on compilations, I guess, in the 80s and 90s. Well,
No,
I stand corrected. So
I know they actually, when I first saw like that picture and like heard them, I really did think they were from the 60s. And nobody tried to tell me otherwise until I think maybe people were trying to.
I think there is some confusion out there because there is another band that kind of stole their style or whatever.
Well, there's also mystery behind, for me at least, like who the members are. And I've heard rumors that like the Phantom Surfers are all the members of the Mummies. Just that the Phantom Surfers have those black. That was another press photo band that I was looking at a lot of pictures. They just have those black, but then, it's the opposite with these guys. You like, everything else is covered, but they're.
Well, that's something that I was going to say. I'll jump to one of my comments about the photo, which is, I think it's great. The benefit of the hidden faces is that, hey, George, the drummer, can't make the show this week. His son is in the final baseball game of the community or whatever. Let's get George to sub for him. And it's like, who cares? Nobody knows who's in the band.
Like War would do that. One time somebody would be like the guitar player, and the next time they'd be the bass. They would just switch up because you couldn't tell under the costumes. Yeah,
and I think the Residents have been doing it for like 50 years too.
Yeah. So I just want to say I'm a huge fan of the Mummies. I love them, but the photo is kind of a fail for me because I just don't think it does justice to the greatness of the Mummies. I think the Mummies are just such a raw, scary sound. Like I think like a Mummies, like to do them accurate, justice, the press photo should be like the Mummies attacking people in floppy hats with hammers while on a gondola.
The one photo I almost chose was one of them jumping. They had this like ambulance kind of thing as a vehicle, or like a hearse, I guess. And the one photo is them like jumping, and I was going to choose that and say if the photographer could do anything differently, it would maybe have their instruments or something, but then that's also kind of corny. But what's great is I would definitely recommend anybody who's intrigued by the picture to check out live footage because they are nuts live. Like the energy is insane.
Yeah, they kick ass. I mean, it's sad that the picture might not make me. I'd probably check them out, but the picture doesn't really do. Like I said, it does not draw you in the way if you hear their music first. It is a sonic attack. It will. Yeah, you can. I don't need to ever use birth control. I've had a radical vasectomy caused by the sound of the Mummies.
So yeah.
All right, let's make the rounds then. So that's my opinion. Joe, pass or I say fail, but that's with a caveat, with an asterisk, because I just don't think it does them justice. Joe, pass or fail?
Pass. It would make me want to hear the Mummies, and I do remember seeing this poster at the Peel Out Bungalow, Pleasure Bungalow. The Mummies play their own. Just the fact that it says the Mummies play their own records on there makes me want to. If I didn't know who they were, I would like, well, what does that even mean? I'm curious to want to know. And they have a saxophone, a bass player, guitar player, drummer. And I love them too. I think they're a great band. Does it sound like it? Does this accurately represent them? I'm kind of not sure. It makes me think they're spookier sounding than they are. I don't know, but I do like the picture and I like the shadows.
Okay. All right, and Dean, pass or fail? Oh wait! Before you do that, Joe, quick questions here. Okay, first of all, so you're saying the photo would or wouldn't make you want to check them out?
Yes, it would.
Okay, all right.
And I honestly can't remember if I saw this like Dan, if I saw it before I heard them or not, because it was around the same time.
Okay, you're saying the photo's not.
When I first heard,
makes them look.
I only know the Mummies because of Chris in that same situation, being in the low budgets.
And the photographers, or anything you could have done different?
I would have. I think it's a cropped photo. I don't know if the photographer took it that way, but yeah. I don't think it's the greatest layout for a poster, but it does
Great
show all
band,
of them.
okay photo.
And
yeah.
you don't always get the drummer. It's like you have to force the drummer in there somehow. It's kind of funny.
And we all know how painful that can be.
It's so authentic. It looks so authentically 60s to me. I don't know.
It does. You have a point. Yeah.
I also like the look, the way the one guitar player is looking off to the side. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, not looking in the camera, off to the side. Okay. All right, Dean, pass or fail?
Pass. I love the photo. I'm not sure if there could be any. I mean, I'm sure they have lots of other great photos, but this photo would make me want to search out the music. And yeah, they are a great band. It does look like very 60s or very retro looking, which I guess they were going for. What is that? I guess that's an amp on the lower left. I'm not sure what that is, but
I think that's the organ.
Pull that up.
is that the organ?
Yeah, that's the organ. That is that looks like it's a Vox Continental.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Yeah, I had to
love
throw
the
that
fact-
up, but yeah.
I love the fact that they're all wearing bow ties, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Mummies
is.
with bow ties.
It's like they joined the Nation of Islam. Like,
Yeah, right.
And as far as I can tell, that might be the only time they're wearing like those jackets. Like it's usually that they're in like just the wrap.
Yeah, the wrap. And yeah, I mentioned earlier, I think the Hidden Faces adds a nice mystery to the band and also allows you to sub in replacement members when necessary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's great. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think, good photo, but fantastic.
I think
band.
it's great. One of the other great things about it is that it's in black and white. It's not
Yes.
color. I think that really adds to the photo. So
Yeah, it's like the Blair Witch found footage. Done well, with stuff in the background. You could get people to believe that that's real. So
yeah.
that's good. All right. And again, we're going to take away points for no gondola, maybe. But we will give bonus points for no floppy hats. So,
Right.
White.
yeah, go back and watch last week's video, folks. That's three of us. One of us likes the hats, but might like capes better. I lost the thread a while ago. I have plugged in heat things on my floor. All right, Dean, tell us about what band you submitted.
All right.
And,
Well, I need to add
Oh.
some. I need to add these to my
You
page
didn't have to.
for this photo. I chose the Cars, the band The Cars from the late 70s, early 80s. I guess they lasted into the 80s. This picture caught my eye because of what's in the background, which is it's the Atomium, which is a sculpture / museum, and it's in Belgium. And I know that because, and we'll flash up a photo right now of the dead Milkmen in front of the Atomium. It's a picture taken by our good friend and tour manager, Dan Mapp, in the early 90s. This photo was probably taken in the early 80s or late 70s. I'm not sure what. I like the photo. I think it was probably used for a magazine article. I sense. I'm not that big of a car buff. These glasses are annoying. A big car buff. So I'm not sure what car that is. It's probably a 60s model of some kind of a car. I can't really make out what the medallion is. I like the fact that Rick there is sitting on the back playing a red, well, it's orange, red, wearing red pants, and there's the red taillight. So it's kind of a nice little color splash. Although I will say that on the far right there, David Robinson missed the memo and did not wear glasses to the photo shoot, which is, a no-no.
Why they're making them look to the side?
Yeah.
Right over there. Just let me.
Right. So at least I think that's Dave Robinson. So we have Elliot Easton on the left, and he, was unique because he was a left-handed guitar player, which you don't see very much in bands. Rick is there. Apparently, after his death, we found out he was not really a great husband. But anyway, we'll move on. There's Greg, keyboard player. He looks like a junior accountant. I'm not sure what he was doing there.
He was in the Modern Lovers, I think, but I'm not
No,
sure.
Dave
Yeah.
Robinson was the drummer.
Oh, okay.
And then the coolest car, as far as I'm concerned, is Ben Orr.
Yes.
And he's wearing the coolest jacket. Looks like he just came off a spaceship, the Atomium maybe. And there's David Robinson in leather pants and a leather coat.
The goth band member. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the photo works for the band. It's certainly not a photo that I would want to participate in. Definitely the focus is on Rick. I guess he was really the focus of the band. Looking at the photo, I think it would probably make me want to listen to the band. Although I will say that I was in a cover band in late years of my high school, and one of the guitar player in that band was really into the Cars, and we did at least one song. I think we did Just What I Needed, but I was never really a Cars fan, to be honest. I'm sorry for Cars fans out there. Just wasn't a band that I was really into at the time. So anyway, but I like the photo, and I give it a pass. I think it accurately represents the band.
Okay. Well, I'm going to shake it up, and you might think I'm crazy, but this photo is just what I needed. I love this photo. I love the composition. I love the way that, the band is spaced out. It's also, there's a couple of things that make it, first of all, the Cars, because a lot of bands sound or have taken from them. If you listen to the Cars now, they don't sound that dated. They actually sound like, a lot of sort of post-punk revival bands. And I think that's great. Like, I can listen to the Cars now and really like let the good times roll and stuff, and I will wind up bobbing my head. I think the Cars are fantastic. I think they may have been at one point probably the best American band. I mean, that's how much I really admire them. There's an Ego Likeness cover of the song Drive that just makes you really understand how cool that song is. So I love that. I love, like I said, the composition with the Atomium, the Atomium in the background, which I think, I have a theory that the Atomium was built with the idea that one day the Cars would show up. And also it's possible, if you watched last week's episode, I just realized Rick Ocasek may be from the same planet as Trab Majesty. We really need to, that would explain the Atomium, yes?
Yeah.
So that is fine. It does lose, there's a point that it's going to lose. They're called the Cars, and there's a car in the photo. It's like, I don't know, I should have researched it. I'm sure there's probably a band out there called the Gondoliers or Gondolier or Gondola, and they probably don't have a gondola in their publicity photos. So I'm going to say they could have done without the Cars. I remember once there was a picture of the Cars in Cream magazine, and the caption they put under it was, "Yes, we always did enjoy the Hammer House of Horror series. Why do you ask?" It was perfect. I remember, just for some reason it made me laugh my ass off. But here's the great thing about this photo. Before these sort of photos of these sort of new wave bands and sort of semi-punk bands, every band looked happy in a photo. They looked like they wanted to be there. They were smiling. And these guys look like they've got better things to do. They look like they're pissed off that you woke them up, you made them go out by the Atomium and sit on a car. And this actually becomes the template. This becomes, there's a lot of bands now that it may not be the same photo, but I think you can draw a sort of spiritual line from these guys to like Actors or Leathers or Bootblacks, or even a band like Wingtips. If you put that photo up and you put them around there, you would kind of see that same attitude of, I can't believe I got up to do this photo shoot. So I love it on so many different levels. I'm going to say that if I weren't familiar with the band, would this make me want to listen to them? Yes, it would. I think that they put their all into it without moving a muscle. And that is absolutely amazing. That is mind control. This photo look like they sound. Yeah, again, yes, it does. It's a lazy kind of cool. Like, yeah, we can play, and they could, and they kind of look like, like they fought getting up to go do that photo, but they did it, and they did it well, and I appreciate that. And then the final question: what could the photographer have done better? Get the car out of there. Take the car out. Bring in a gondola. Bring that gondola in there, put the cars in a gondola, and you've got something right there. So, all right. So again, I'm pass on that. Joe, pass or fail?
This is a tough one, but I'm gonna ultimately say pass because it's an intriguing looking photo of guys that don't look like they I mean, other than the fact that most of them wear glasses, they don't look like they would be assembled unless it's for
like
purpose of
like a
whatever they're
cohesive
doing.
band.
Playing music, obviously.
Yeah, it's like a gang in a movie that they
makes,
cast it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like they cast the gang wrong, and they're always like tough guys, and then there's like one guy with like a railroad tied to his head or something.
yeah, the actually being on a car and being called the car seems a little gimmicky, but maybe that's also cool gimmicky. And I don't know. Is this we don't know what year this was, but would I listen to them? Yeah, I would listen to them.
Now I also realized that Big Thief are
like
called
them.
Big Thief, but they stole those big hats. They stole the lobby hat.
Would I do something differently if I were the photographer? No, I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah. Just like
I have a question because I don't know the band. I mean, super detailed. Well, I know Rick probably wrote songs and he probably played guitar, but he really didn't play the guitar live in the band, did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and
He did.
Ben,
Okay.
yeah, and Ben could sing better than Rick.
Yeah.
So Ben would usually get the songs that you had to sing, but they would oftentimes whoever wrote it would sing it. They had two writers there. Yeah,
Okay.
I just
Okay.
And again, I think they're sort of ahead of their time. But that what do I know? I keep plugging things in for props. Okay.
So the photo would make you listen to them, Joe?
yes.
Were you a fan of them back in the late 70s?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I had their albums when I was in high school. Yes.
Okay, and does it look like they sound? We may have asked this. You maybe
I can't tell how they sound actually now that I look at them. I mean, like I know how they sound already, but it's hard to say that I can't really say that makes any sound. They do look new wavy because of this.
All right, Joe, don't worry about it. Just relax and let the good times roll.
Okay, that's
okay. Dan, pass or fail?
I say pass. I see this one was tough for me because they formed around the time I was born. So when I started watching MTV as a kid, like I saw shoot, what's the video where he's walking across the pool?
Oh, that is the name of that is Magic.
Magic, yeah. So as soon as I saw his face, like it was ingrained in my mind, like just his image and everything, Rick, and that whole thing about him on the pool. And I was, a kid. So that the imagery, it's for me, I'm already like biased. But I'm trying to take myself out of that. And if I were to see that back in the 70s at like an older age, I would definitely check that band out. Because like I was having the same thought, like Joe was saying, like it's kind of like a weirdly assembled crew of people. But that does kind of segues into how I feel with music is you can't really narrow down what their music's like. I mean, I'm not the one to decide that kind of thing. Which that's a good example. I'm not the one. That doesn't sound like they're like more like guitar driven songs. Which it's got a great beat. So yeah, I think they pass in that regard for me. Like they sound like they look. What could the photographer do differently? I think like move it just slightly a bit so you don't see that freaking tree behind the guy. It's so distracting.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's the only thing that ruins the competition. Yeah, but they needed a phallic. It's a rock band.
Is that
you need a phallic symbol?
Yeah, and I was like, why is this guy over here? But he's left-handed, so
he has the biggest tree
on the other side of the car. Like, are we ready to go yet? So,
is that a big tree, or you just glad to see me?
So that's was that all the questions?
I hope so, because you immediately went to the tree, which I didn't notice before until you pointed out.
Drove me crazy. It takes away from the Atomium. It's like I didn't even notice the car until like I saw his legs.
You're
Was it
right.
one
The
of the-
Atomium, I loved it originally, but the Atomium does kind of get lost. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about it.
I don't
Yeah,
really.
nowadays you would Photoshop out. I guess they could have airbrushed it then, but the tree would be out of there. You wouldn't
I
see
was
the
gonna
tree.
say I think it's cool, the Atomium, but I'm trying to figure out why they took this picture, other than like the same reason you guys did, because it looks cool.
Maybe
But
they
Look
were
there.
you guys took the picture you guys took is way cooler. You see more of it, and this is just kind of like, oh, whoops.
Is that the car they were driving in? They were just like, we're driving on the lawn taking this picture. And they got out and took the
They were
Look at that
touring.
crazy
They were
thing,
touring
pull
Europe
over.
in that car.
picture.
I gotta double check that picture, see if that tree's still there. I didn't put it up, I could take a look at it during the show, but yeah. If not, we'll put the tree in to see if it changes the composition. Oh dear God. All right. Okay, so I think that does it for tonight's revelry of pictures. This is, of course, part 2 of what may or may not have been a good idea. Comment section will tell us. But I'm probably going to edit a whole lot out of the other one. It's time for recommendations. So I'm going to start off by recommending a show on Tubi. Yes, again, Tubi, the gift that just keeps on giving. The thing that you can watch for free on your phone anywhere. The thing on Tubi is called Scream Queens. Now, it's not the Scream Queen series that ran with Jamie Lee Curtis. That was fantastic, or at least particularly the first season of it was amazing. This is a different Scream Queens. This is a bunch of actresses. This is filmed, I think, in like 2010, maybe a little bit earlier. This is a bunch of actresses all trying out for a part in Saw 6. Now, yeah, Saw 6, I looked it up. It was the lowest grossing of the Saw films. It came in, I think, just behind Saw meets Andy Hardy, which was made in the 1940s. It's not a good movie, folks. But there's a young lady on this show, and I don't know how to pronounce her name. Her name is Jessica. I think it's Jessica Pallet, but she's bonkers. She's so out of control that she's trying out to be in horror movies, and they're telling her, tone it down just a little. Her IMDb page has a shot of her crazy eyes. If I ever get to make my magnum opus, which is Amityville Frat House, Amityville House, I'm revoking your charter. And of course, the sequel, Amityville House 2, Booger's Revenge, or Amityville Frat House 2. Want to make sure that I got the copyright on that. I'm definitely going to have her in either one or both films. She is so far out there that she is absolutely bonkers. There is a video, it's an 8-minute video, maybe more, out on the web. We'll put a link to it. It's just her acting crazy on Scream Queens. And it's like, normally, if you have a little clip thing from somebody who, I don't think she was in every episode either, it's like 2 or 3 minutes. Like, here's 2 or 3 minutes of, so-and-so acting bonkers on, of whatever reality show it is. No, this is 8 minutes of her, and it is real. She's scarier than anything in any horror film. Now, the next thing I'm going to recommend is, and this is more of a making you folks aware of it than a recommendation. I have a big setup. It's a thing I call the Victimizer. I play it in another project of mine. But the thing that holds everything together is a thing called a Vixen mixer. Which you can't get anymore. It was basically a mixer that you would plug small synths into. It could power them all, and it's had a bunch of inputs, and it's gone. They don't make them anymore. I was lucky enough to get one while they were still making them. People, when I play shows, always say, "Oh, I'd like to have a setup like that," and I'm like, unfortunately, you can't get the Vixen mixer, but you can get something now, which is called the Tangible Waves VMix 10. It's like the Vixen mixer. I think it'll power like 4 small synths. We'll put up a link. I haven't bought one. I might get one for a backup. Just wanted to make you folks aware of it, because people are always asking me. We got less than 10 minutes, so I'm going to move on now to Joe for recommendations.
I recommend free COVID test, which you can get by mail. In case you didn't know, every home in the United States is eligible to order 2 sets of free at-home tests. And you may have already ordered your first one, but now you can order your second one. It's the time has come that you can get another one. And these are useful when you maybe think you have COVID and you want to test at home, or you just have an event to go to or been at an event. And they're free. So yeah, there's a USPS web form we'll put on, and also an 800 number if you can't do the form.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all.
I'd like to recommend, if you live in a similar latitude as we, you should start thinking about planting some stuff. It's a good time of year to plant.
Yeah, plant around 420.
Actually, this will air after that. So, yeah, plant something. I don't care what, something. And I'd like to tack on like one that I just came up with, a recommendation. Hopefully I can find it. I'm pretty sure on the Low Budgets Bandcamp that Joe was talking about, I think there's a cover of us doing a Cars song. And I think it's just what I needed. But I have to double check that because I think Tanya put those up on the Bandcamp too.
And by Tanya, you mean Patty Hearst.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
All right, that's it.
I am going to recommend something that I have not even seen yet. I've seen the trailer, and I'm going to recommend you watch the trailer. And then I'm going to ask you to tune in mid-May, I think is when it starts. There is going to be a new season of New Kids in the Hall. And the trailer is out now, and I will provide a link to it. And just based on the trailer, it looks pretty damn funny. So I can't wait to see this new. It's going to be on Amazon Prime, so hopefully you'll have some way to see it. It looks pretty damn funny. So it's got everybody from the original series in it, and of course everybody's older, so it's pretty cool. So I'm going to recommend you watch the trailer and then tune into the series mid-May. And I think the band that did the music, Shadowy Men, whatever's left of that band, they're also involved doing plenty of new music for it, apparently.
I think just the bass player died.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
Years ago.
Well, not good that he died, but I mean.
I wonder if they, no, I'm just kidding. They have another bass player. I am half Canadian though, or I have Canadian.
Yeah, you could easily hop across the border there. But anyway, so
I saw the Kids in the Hall 3 times live. It was amazing.
Oh, nice.
I'm the guy with the good attitude about menstruation.
I think Scott Thompson just played at Philomoka.
Yeah, he was at Philomoka, recently. Yeah,
he's coming. Maybe it's on May 21st, which is a special day for Dead Milkmen people.
Yeah, it is. Although I'll be at there's a market in the Cobb at Laurel Hill, and I might have some cash on me or something. Vienna might let me spend some money at that one.
All right.
I think that's all we got this week, folks.
Yeah.
All right. So we will be played shows. So next time you see us, we'll tell you how the shows went. So. Yeah. Joe, you and your government test, don't you know that the government will tell you that children shouldn't drink and children shouldn't drive? But I seen a fellow on YouTube and he explained why drinking and driving was good for children. And so I say, give me my freedom. Give me my freedom to let my 3-year-old son drink and drive. We're going to have a big convoy of drunk 3-year-olds. We're going to come rolling into town.